Hi guys, it's SimLicy here. So today I have for you guys a new video. This time it's a tower build, and I'm really excited about this build. I've been wanting to share it for a while now, and it's something that I've been working on, but finally got it to look the way that I wanted to do, and I was able to use some of the new features with the new update on the final build of this too, which is really cool. So I was able to copy the octagonal rooms and place them one on top of the other. So if you haven't done so already, update your game so you can use new features. But I think it always makes you update it before you can just jump into the game. I think you always have to. But anyway, so we have the copy room feature, copy roof feature, and we also have the new lot traits that came with it. So I did make this building have some lot traits if you do download it from the gallery. I forget exactly what they're called, but it's the one where it makes like skills easier. So there's good lighting for painting, and then I think there's good acoustics for music, and I think there's also the lot trait that makes it better for cooking. I think those are the ones that I chose, but I mean, I'm not completely used to using them, so I don't remember exactly. But anyway, so yeah, I had been working on this build for a while, trying to figure out how, because I've been wanting to build a tower. I was watching just different people do like castle builds, and I watched some probably like 4 or 5 different simmers build a Rapunzel's tower, and I wanted to do my own version of a tower. And so I did take some inspiration from the Rapunzel tower, but I didn't want it to be Rapunzel's tower. I wanted it to be my own design and my own take on what I think a beautiful tower would look like, and I think it turned out really well. Like right now I'm just working on the roof, and which I did struggle with for a while because we don't have necessarily roofs that fit the octagonal shape very well. But I think what I did with all of just using the different shapes and styles of roofs, and then all of these different roof decorations, really gave it like the height that I wanted it to have, and also like kind of the interesting features where it's, it's got a lot of detail, and I think it turned out pretty good. I really like all those different roof decorations. Like they all match really well, and they all have like their own look to them, and all like interesting little pieces. I really like them. So I think if you are trying to do something that probably looks a little bit more magical or fairy tales, I think, at least for me, this looks really good to use all the different roof decorations to try to give it more detail. And so that's what I would recommend. It just looks really pretty, I think, in the end, and hopefully you guys like it too. I got a lot of positive feedback on this. I posted a Twitter of it. I posted a picture on Twitter of it right when I was done building it, because I was so excited, and yeah, so I just wanted to share it, and everybody gave me such nice comments. And so if you're watching this and did comment, thank you so much. I really appreciate all the nice things that everybody said about it. So hopefully they'll take the time to watch me build it, or download it from the gallery as well. It's called the Magical Tower, and I did want it to look pretty magical, like it's in a fairy tale, or it's in some sort of like medieval magical times. I put that wishing well, the one that you can offer simoleons and make wishes in the garden area. So I did try to make it look old and magical is what I was thinking. But yeah, so I'm thinking about doing more builds like this in this town in Winterberg. I did make a whole new game save for this tower, and I'm thinking about just doing a whole magical kind of series, or just I don't know if it'll just be in Winterberg or if it'll be in the other worlds as well. But I think castles and micro castles and other towers or Tudor style, just a bunch of different builds that look really magical that might fit in with the town of Winterberg. And I was also thinking of doing like theme builds. Like I really want to build like a mermaid inspired house. Like I don't want any of them to be necessarily based off of characters, like Disney characters, but I don't mind them being inspired by it, but I don't want anybody to necessarily associate them with Disney. Like I want them to be my own build, if that makes any sense. I mean, I might just not be making any sense, but I've been thinking about doing a mermaid inspired build but I don't want it to be Ariel's build, if that makes any sense. But anyway, so I just am putting the front porch there on, and it doesn't stay like this. It does extend out into the front. It's not video recorded or anything because it was a problem I was having when I was play testing it. So you will see it in the screenshots if you stay tuned for those, or if you want to, you know, go ahead and skip forward to the screenshots because you'll see everything there. But anyways, it's like it does stick out one tile, because I was having issues with the statue that I enlarged in the pond. It was somehow too close to the front door for the Sims to be able to get in the tower. And so I extended the tower out a little bit, at least the front entrance, and then I moved the statue away from it a little bit. So if you do download it and have any issues with your Sims getting in, I would recommend probably just turning on Move Objects and holding down the Alt key and sliding the tower or the statue just a little bit away from the entrance of the tower. That's probably the problem, because I did enlarge it. I mean, you could always get rid of the statue altogether, or size it back down to its original size. Speaking of that, wouldn't it be so cool if, because you know how we can hold the control bracket key to enlarge things, if we could hold the control left bracket to shrink things? Like I was playing around with I don't know if many people know about this, but if you turn on the testing cheats and you do shift click on an object, you can say set as head, and certain objects will shrink if you set it as the Sim's head. It's really weird, because then you shift click it, set as head, the object appears on their head, and the Sims walk around with whatever it is, a lamp, a couch, or microwave, or whatever it is that you set as their head. And then then you click on the object and go reset, and then it appears next to the Sim, sometimes larger. Like I did a painting and it was huge. It was like the size of like the Empire State Building. It was a ginormous painting. And then other things shrink, and I was hoping to be able to make things stay small, but they don't stay. Like as soon as you do it with something else, like it disappears. I don't know if it transfers to the gallery. So it was just something I was messing around with to see if you could make paintings smaller, or make rugs or whatever smaller, and then have them transfer to the gallery. So I don't know if anybody knows exactly how that works. That would be cool to know. So I just transferred, as you may notice, this build to the smaller lot that was behind the building, because I was building it on like a larger, I think a 20 by 30 lot, and then I moved it to the smaller 20 by 20 lot, just because I thought that the location suited the tower best, and then it would make me go less crazy with the garden, because I tend to make things very overgrown, as you can see I'm doing with the ivy right now. But I did imagine this tower to be very old, so it would be really overgrown is what I was thinking. And so there's lots of plants, lots of ivy, and I thought that this location just suited that, because especially from the balcony where I put like a little breakfast table, you can look the pond, and there's like this bridge, and there's always ducks and birds, and I love it. It's really pretty, and I think more wildlife, like if there was deer running in the forest, or squirrels, or chipmunks, or raccoons, or just different little critter animals in the world would be so cool. I mean, I don't know if it's something that they would really, the Sim people would really spend their time working on, but if somebody wanted to take on that project, that would be okay with me, because that would be so cute, like just to have a bunch of animals. And of course, I'm sure their top priority is getting pets for the Sims rather than more just critters for the worlds. But anyways, so that just would be something cute that I was thinking about. And so I'm just going through just different items in the game that I thought would look really nice in the garden, and you can see that I enlarged that statue and put it next to the front door, and so that's the one that was causing me problems with them to be able to go inside the front door. And so, like I said, if you have any issues, I would just move it a little bit. But the version that I uploaded to the gallery, I had no problems with, so hopefully you won't either. And yeah, so I put a little pond here, and I do use some of the fountain, like spray fountain pieces to do a little waterfall. You'll see here in just a bit, but I did choose the fountain tool instead of the pool tool, because the fountain tool looks a little bit more like a pond than the pool does. And I didn't think it was completely necessary, because it wasn't very big to have them to be able to swim in it. Like, there wouldn't be really room for them to swim in it anyways. This is a tiny little pond. And then This would be really easy to move to a bigger lot, and then you could probably expand the pond and make it more of like a natural lagoon, kind of like the one that's at the ruins, and that would probably be really pretty. So if anybody does decide to do that, I would love to see pictures of that. That would be really neat to see. But you can see I just put in the little waterfall there, and I do have some pictures of it in the screenshots. I tried to get good angles of the garden so you could see how pretty it looked and just how it looked from different angles, because it does actually look really nice in game, because I was worried that it would look really out of place and that it would look, I don't know, that it would just, everything wouldn't flow very well with the world, but it actually looked really nice, and I was pretty happy with how well it blended in. But I think that's because I enlarged a lot of the plants so they kind of spill over the boundary of the lot, so it's not all just ending on like that sharp edge of how the lot ends. And I also enlarged rocks, so the rocks and plants kind of spill over and blend in a little bit more with the world. And I think that, and not doing too much terrain paint, didn't make it look too unnatural. So I don't know. That's what I was thinking, and I like it. So I guess that's all that matters, right? Because I made it. But anyway, so I'm just doing like little paths and trying to figure out what trees and stuff. I tried to make the trees blend in with the world as much as possible, because we do have options in the build and buy mode that have that match the trees in the world really well. So some of them are exactly the same, which is nice, because sometimes the rocks and plants and stuff don't always match the world necessarily, or like the sidewalk, which I've mentioned in the last couple of videos, because it always just seems kind of weird. I was also wondering why we don't have that red tree that you can see at some points. Like, I've never noticed that tree was red, and I was like, why is this tree red? Like, I've never noticed it, and I was like, is it the only one in the entire world that's red? Like, it's a random glitched out red tree. But then later on, when I was playtesting, I did see a couple others around, but not very many. And for some reason, the video was a little bit glitchy. I don't know if it was because of the new update or what, but you could see it right there when I was placing those rocks. They all just kind of pop up. And no matter the speed or however I edited the video, it was just like that. So I left it, and hopefully that doesn't bother you too much. I mean, it's a little bit annoying for me because I want it to be, as smooth as possible, but for some reason it was a little bit jumpy at some points when I was doing this build, or at least not when I was building it, but for some reason while it got recorded, I guess it got recorded jumpy. So I don't know if I did turn up my settings for my lights, so maybe that I don't have like the best computer, so maybe I need to turn it back down. But if I don't have it turned up, then I can't see all the what do you call it, the how the lights shine through the windows and leave the shadows. I can't see that very well if I turn my settings back down. So I really like to be able to see that, because I was doing some like experimenting builds. I don't know if anybody, I'm sure lots of other builders do this, but if you're watching this and do this, then let me know. That'd be pretty cool to know what you practice doing. But I was kind of just on an empty lot and just messing around with things and seeing how it would look. And so I wanted my lighting turned up for that, because I was just kind of messing around with windows and skylights and things, just kind of thinking about things I would like to build at some point and how I could make those look nice and how I could get the effect that I want. So that's something I would recommend too if you're having any troubles, or not sure how things are gonna look and kind of struggling. I would just play with it. Like, don't record anything, don't have any necessary direction on what you want to build or anything. Just play around with it. There's so many items in the game, and if you use move objects like I do, like crazy, you can do a lot of things. So that's what that's I don't know, my word of advice, I guess, or just what I like to do. I think it helps a lot, especially if you're kind of stuck. It helps. So I am just starting on the interior now. I got the stairs placed, or getting the stairs placed, and I did have a little bit of trouble with them, but not too bad. I mean, I did the practice one that I did had 3 tiles on all sides, and instead of 2 like this one does, like each octagonal side on this one has 2 tiles, and then my test one had 3, and the stairs did fit a lot better, but it just didn't give the tower effect that I was looking for, so I stuck with this one. So it does make it a little bit more cramped, but the Sims can still get to everything, and it has everything that they need. There's like the main living area, which is like the living room, and then there's the bathroom, kitchen, and bedroom, and like various like sitting areas and stuff. So I mean, it has everything you need, but spiral staircases would definitely make this a lot easier, or like a ladder or something. I also did a practice one of having the stairs kind of wrap around the building on the outside, but because I wanted to use the tallest wall setting, the stairs just get so big that it just became too bulky. And I did see when Hatsie built her Rapunzel tower, she did like kind of like a staircase mountain in the back of her build, and then did the tower separately. So I mean, that's a good alternative too, because the way she did it with, you know, all the vegetation and the rocks, makes it really blend in and look like it's part of the landscaping. So she did a good job with that, but I just wanted mine to be a little bit different, and so I just stuck them on the inside. So I mean, you could always change it probably to do something like that if you wanted to, or if you're building your own tower. There's lots of different videos on people and their ways of doing it, so I would check those out, because everyone has done such a beautiful job. There's so many different little tower builds on YouTube, and I'm sure on the gallery too. I didn't look at any on the gallery. I just was watching videos trying to get ideas on how to build one, and yeah, so I would check those out if you are curious, or just castle builds in general, because lots of castles have towers, and you know, just similar designs and stuff too, because there's so many beautiful castle builds. Like, I want to build a castle so bad. I did build a remake of the Van Haunt estate, and I made it a castle, so that's on the gallery if you would like to download it. I didn't build that too long ago, but the video of it is just really bad, so I'm not going to be able to share it to YouTube, unfortunately, because I would like to. But it's like a wedding venue, and it's kind of like a white castle. It's pretty simple design of the castle, so yeah. But if you want to download it, I think I would just search the hashtag SimLicy or my account ID SimLicy, because the name of it, I think it's Van Haunt Castle. I don't think I named it anything that creative, so if you would like to, go check it out. It's on there for download. Oh, and I did use the bushes as ivy instead of like the wall decorations as ivy, so they do fall even when you have move objects on, so that's kind of unfortunate. So I mean, there's just a couple of reasons why I'm not gonna do a video of it, because the video quality is really bad, and plus it just doesn't transfer very well through the gallery. So I would like to redo that probably when I can make a video of it, but I'm trying to get some things out of the way before City Living comes out, because I'm doing my voice recording now on Halloween. So happy Halloween, everybody. I know this isn't a Halloween build, but I already have done my Halloween builds, so if you would like to check those out, they're on my channel. I did a cast video, I did a costume shop, and then of course my group collaboration with Rory Plays The Sims is on there too, if you would like to see those. Or, you know, there's so many other Simmers who are doing Halloween builds as well. But I wanted to share this before City Living came out, so I can start with a brand new game, brand new slate, kind of just everything all, I don't know, sorted and ready for tomorrow. I'm so excited. I bet you guys are all so excited as well. If you don't have, you know, The Sims and are, I don't know, do people watch build videos and don't have The Sims? I'd be curious to know that. If you don't have The Sims, let me know. That would be kind of interesting. I know a lot of people have like the base game and don't have all the packs and stuff, or just have like, you know, a handful of the game packs or a handful of the stuff packs, or, you know, maybe 1 or 2 of the expansion packs, or, you know, just different combinations of them. So I know that, but I don't know if people watch them and just don't have the game and just enjoy watching people make stuff. That would be interesting to know, because I don't really know that. But anyways, I'm doing this kind of like a little sitting area here. I thought that whoever lived in this tower would have a pet, and since we don't have pets, I did put a frog, and so I figured the frog could be their pet. And you could also probably put a cow plant somewhere in the yard, would be pretty interesting for this build, I think. But yeah, so I just put a little table and chair, like kind of just like a little sitting nook with their pet, and probably just sit there and read a book. There's lots of like reading areas in this build. Like, I imagined that this is an older build, so there's no electronics, so I figured they would, you know, just read and paint and enjoy nature, probably go out and collect stuff in the world, like dig up stones and treasures and stuff is what I was thinking, which is too bad, because it's so nice to have a computer because your Sims can get so much done with their, you know, their careers, and they can order medicine and do things. But I wish there, like, you could do things maybe through the mail. Like if you could sit at a desk and like your Sims would just somehow pull out a paper and pen like out of their pocket or something, and be able to write a book that way rather than always having to use a computer. Like, I imagine that would be a pretty simple thing to add, because they pull out plates and knives and stuff and forks really easily, like out of their pockets. I imagine they could probably do a similar thing with writing. But I don't know, that's just something I was thinking about that would be a little bit better for more older inspired builds, or more just like kind of less electronic-y builds. That's what I was thinking, but it works out just fine. I guess you could always put a computer in here. It could just be somebody living in an old tower. It doesn't necessarily have to be one that doesn't have any electronics. But I do have to rearrange the kitchen a little bit. You'll notice in the screenshots that the sink is on the counter next to the fridge, and then the counter next to the stove is blank. That just happened because the way that they were using the sink and setting the food on the sink and not the counter, I just had to move it so they would actually use the counter for setting the food on and preparing the food rather than trying to prepare it on the sink. And I also sized down or remove one of the shelves. So I tried to clip 3 of the shelves together to make longer shelves for that wall, but in build mode they don't really clip too much and flutter around because they're overlapping, but in game mode they do, so I do remove one of those so it looks a little bit better. And this is probably my favorite part of the house, is this balcony right here, because the view, if you go into Sims view mode and go down to like Sim eye level right there in front of the archway and look out over the little pond, and you can see the bridge, and it's just like I said with the ducks and it's so cute. I love it so much. But yeah, so that's my favorite part of the entire build, is that just that little balcony right there is just the best. And I put in another bookshelf and paintings and lamps, and just really tried to do lots of decorations and make it just look lived in and collected as possible. And I saw the Freezer Bunny layer up some mirrors like that I just did on that wall, and I thought that was a good idea, so kind of stole that from him. So thank you for that inspiration, because I thought that was a pretty cool idea to give just I don't know, it's like a wall decoration, but it's still a mirror, and I just really liked the idea, so I thought that was really pretty. And I'm finally onto the bedroom right now, and I use those lamps right through the wood tables. I don't know, I thought that was kind of a fun idea. And this room is extremely cluttered. There's rugs, and there's easels, and there's paintings, and there's, you know, a desk. And one thing I did forget that really bothers me is a wardrobe. I wish I would have put a wardrobe in here. Which, I mean, not that it's completely necessary, because you can always have your Sims go to the mirror to change their clothes. But it would be really easy to add one in here, of course, because you could probably just move things around a little bit, or delete one of the decorations and just put a little dresser in or something. But there's probably plenty of room for that. But I forgot one. I guess I spaced it. But so I would probably, if I play in this house at all, I'll probably add one myself, just because I like to have them in my bedrooms, not because there's any really particular reason or need for them, but just because I like to have them. So the one on the gallery does not have one. But anyway, so that's the little desk area. And I mean, not that your Sims can't do anything at it without a computer, so you could always add a computer, of course. But I used those kind of wall lamps, those stained glass wall lamps, to cover up the bits of the pieces that were poking through the wall from the roof decoration. So I think that turned out pretty well, to kind of cover those up a little bit with making some interesting wall decorations. And I also use those like hanging cactuses and stuff too. But anyway, so it's almost the screenshots any second now. So thank you so much for watching, and please leave any comments or suggestions that you have down below. Alright, thanks for watching. Bye!